My first quote for Chapter 5 is assertiveness is the capacity to make requests, to actively disagree, to express positive or negative personal feelings, to initiate, maintain, or disengage from conversations, and to stand up for oneself without attacking others. The author is explaining that assertiveness is situated in the middle between being aggressive and being passive. Aggressive people want everything to be their way and tend to come off as abrasive and confrontational. Passive people are essentially pushovers or complete people pleasers. Assertive people understand the importance of letting others know what their beliefs or opinions are without being forceful or intentionally hurting one's feelings. It is important to me because I struggle with being assertive at work. My social style is more amiable because I would rather just do the undone work than to express to a coworker that they should have done it themselves. I don't like being confrontational or causing arguments. I just want to make people happy. I need to work on being more assertive and standing up for myself when I am displeased with something, but I also need to learn how to do it without causing hostility among my peers. My second quote for Chapter 5 is men and women communicate differently at work. The author states that being aware and adapting your communication style can be a great way of enhancing your effectiveness as a leader. Men tend to use the content dimension where the focus is more on the verbal message, whereas women typically use the relational dimension. The focus is on nonverbal behaviors like tone of voice and facial expressions. They use different conversational rituals when talking and responding to others that can be perceived differently by the opposite sex. The status lens is a process men use to determine their power or status level in a conversation. Women use a connection lens that focuses on the physical or emotional distance between people. Women use a ritual apology like I'm sorry that men can interpret that they are being weak, undermining their authority, or as an actual apology. Ritual opposition is a conversational ritual that men use to promote critical thinking and explore broader ideas, but women may perceive it as their ideas are being rejected or challenged. It is important to me because I can see all these scenarios when I speak to my boss, especially his use of oppositions. I feel that sometimes he is very critical about my ideas due to his lack of ability to accept change. Also, there have been times that his words have physically made me upset because it feels like he doesn't think that I am doing my job. In truth, I am doing my job and then some. When he finally realizes how I interpreted the meaning of his message, he apologizes because that's not what he meant by his comment. My first quote for Chapter 6 is a person's ability to lead depends on his or her ability to develop constructive relationships. The author conveys that connections that are ongoing, using interpersonal communication, is the ability to relate to others and cultivate relationships. It will help to determine how successful you will be in the long run. There are two types of leaders: person-focused, ones that understand the value of knowing other people on a personal level, and task-focused leaders who believe that work is more important and takes priority over people. Effective leaders are ones that have a well-balanced mix of both dimensions. It is important to me because I can see where I implement both. I like to stay focused on the tasks at hand, but not at the expense of alienating others. I like to get to know new people, and I value the personal connections that I have with my coworkers and customers. It is a way to maintain a healthy, pleasant work environment, and if the customer sees that you are friendly and personable, then you are creating the basis for return business or repeat customers. My second quote for Chapter 6 is managers who cultivate high quality and trusting relationships with their employees have satisfied and committed employees who will see to it that managers and employees succeed together. The author explains that employees that feel like they are being cared for will reciprocate that feeling. They will be more loyal, compliant, and go beyond their expectations. if managers acknowledge them and make them feel valued. Management is essentially a relational communication process, and managers have to realize that to get the work done, they need to build relationships. They must also learn how to balance between being task and person focused. I feel this was important to me because I have almost quit my job 3 times because I felt unappreciated. Every time it came down to my personal relationship with my boss and my coworkers and my ability to see their side of things that made me reconsider.